How's it going? Today I just did a review on the TMNT Retro Turtles. Didn't really do a review, it's just hey, this is what I got as a haul. So yeah, I was wearing the same thing. Wearing the same thing now, but go check out my other videos. Today though, we're going to go ahead and review the Marvel Universe Angel. This comes from the San Diego Comic-Con. I guess it's about a 5 or 6 pack. But they also, it's not just the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, because they also have this at Toys R Us. So you can also get this figure in the 5 or 6 pack, however many is in there, through Toys R Us. It's probably run you about 50 to 60 bucks to get the entire pack. And to get this figure alone, it'll, on average, I think most people are paying around $25. So not what I paid, but you know, I find good deals everywhere. So just to start out up close, let's look at the head sculpt there. You can see his face is pretty well sculpted. They got a lot of good detail on there. The paint could be possibly a little bit better on his face. I mean, you can see on the side there, it's a little off. I mean, it's not too bad. And then if you look at his hair, they did a really good job on his hair. Now, if I hold him back and you look at him, like his head compared to the rest of his body is really big. Which, I mean, it's okay, it's not too bad. I mean, considering that his wings extend very far. So, I mean, they extend out there pretty well. So, I guess his head would look super tiny if they wouldn't have made his head look a little bigger, but his legs are really short. I think the best body they could have used for this is the Daredevil body from the 2-pack, the Daredevil Bullseye 2-pack. That would have been like an awesome body for them to use for this figure, because these wings are heavy and this figure is lacking some articulation, which I will get to here in a minute. Let's go ahead and take the base off. The wings, aside from them being able to flip up, they can flip all the way around, but they plug into the back. So there's little holes that are in his back that they plug into. And then these are also flexible to where you can bend them back like that if you choose. So you can bring them out or bring them in, however you want to do it, which I don't think is a bad deal at all. Looking at the wings, you can see at the very top, looks like a little screw or something that's in there. But the detail that they put into just like the feathers is pretty unique. So I thought they did a really good job on that. So we'll just push his wings back so we can go over some of the articulation. His head will spin full 360, but he does not look up very much at all, and he looks down like hardly at all. So the joints on his shoulders are really tight. You can get them up, but you have to be careful, because otherwise you can break this peg on his arm if you're not careful. He has single jointed elbows, and he has rotation at the wrist. I don't think you can see that, but he has rotation here at the wrist. He has the diaphragm joint, so he can go forward, he can go backwards quite a bit, which is good if you're wanting to try to get him into some type of flying pose. But you can't really get his head to look up unless you maybe like half it on there, like this. So then if you do it that way, you can potentially get him in a pretty decent flying pose. So, pretty decent. Not great, but could be better. Alright. The other thing is on his legs here, he does have a joint that he can go up for the kick. He's got a swivel here at the thigh, double jointed knees. and then he's got a swivel here at the foot. Now the crappy thing about that is you cannot flex the foot up or down. This won't happen. And that's what I was talking about, that they really could have did better with the articulation. I mean, granted, yeah, it's a cool figure and all, but man, the articulation on this is like really lacking. So there's a few things that are kind of disappointing on it. Going over to the paint detail on it, you can see, maybe, I don't know if you can see that blue tint that's in the white paint, which is kind of back to the traditional Toy Biz, how they were do their paint, or the white paint, they'd have that blue tint that's in the mix of that. But one problem that I have with mine, which I don't know if you will with yours, is if you see on the hip, see how it's kind of red there? I don't think that's intentional. I just think that's some of the red that's bleeding through, and it's up, I think it's up on his shoulders like that also. It's kind of hard to tell. So those are the areas that I can see that that's a problem. So overall on this figure, if I had to give him a grade, I would probably give him I'd give him about a 7.5 or 8 out of 10. And the reason why is he's a cool figure. They did a good job on the wings, but they were a little lacking on, I think, his articulation. I think that he was misproportioned in some areas, like his legs and his head, and even on some of the paint, you know, they could have did a little bit better job. So all in all, you know, he's not a bad figure. Would I recommend getting him? Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's still a figure that you'd want to have. Now, depending on the paint scheme, they do have a single carded Angel that'll be coming out. Do I recommend that one over this one? I guess it's just a preference. I believe this is the original uniform. I could be wrong, but I prefer the red uniform over the blue one. And this uniform will be harder to get than the blue one, and I'm not really sure now if they're going to have a variant, this one basically, with the single carded. So I think the only way you're going to be able to get this one might be with the comic pack, but I could be wrong. So they might end up, you know, having this one as a variant. So I'll have to look into it, and if I find out, then I'll let you guys know for sure. So be sure to comment, subscribe. You know, you guys leave your comments. Let me think what you know, what are your feelings on this figure? If you're okay with the articulation that it has, if you have it, or if you don't have it, you know, what you thought about the review and about the articulation on it, and what you would like to see different. I mean, I think Hasbro did okay, but they had like so many more molds, like different bodies, that they could have thrown this new head sculpt onto to make this figure like that much better. So I really think they cut corners, and they just used a crappy mold, you know, when they have all of these new molds that would have worked like a lot better. I mean, there's just no other way to put it. It's kind of disheartening, but it is what it is. So now, knowing what I know now, would that have changed the fact of me getting this figure? I don't know. That's hard to say. I might not have spent my money on it. I might have just got the single card a lot cheaper, but I mean, it's okay to have. So I like the color scheme on it, but man, we might have to do some custom work with this guy and get him some new boots or something. I might have to talk to somebody that does some customization, and maybe add the legs from the comic 2-pack from the Daredevil Bullseye or something on him, and just kind of beef up his articulation or something, or just even do a repaint on a different body and just use this head and maybe the upper torso or something. So I'll figure it out, but that's what I got for you. So hopefully you guys like the review. Hopefully this helps you out, let you know whether or not you want to get this figure. It's a nice figure to have, but it's just, like I said, it's not the best articulated, and I mean, it's okay. So hopefully you guys go get you some. Appreciate you watching.